All right, so here's the deal. So Jurassic World Rebirth just came out, and I'm gonna give my review of that once I see it. Now I will say that these videos are the Jurassic Park and World movies that I'm gonna do right here are actually recorded out of order, but by the time you see them, they'll be released in order. So I was trying to cram them all in this week, and I'm just not good at utilizing time sometimes. But all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies are available to watch on Peacock. So I went back and rewatched the first movie. I've seen it a few times when I was younger. Now, let's get into the first movie. First of all, I literally did not learn until this year that this movie made over $1.1 billion. I did not know that on a $63 million budget. Now, for me, this movie gets a 10, and Metacritic gave it a 68%. See, that's why I said Metacritic is tougher than even Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Rotten Tomatoes, their percentage rating is makes a lot more sense to me. It's 91% for them. Internet Movie Database gave it an 82%, and Google users on average gave it a. Hold up a second. Here we go. Google users gave it 90 to 94%. There we go. So the movie came out in '93, and for a movie to have a $63 million budget and to gross over $1.1 billion worldwide in the '90s, that's kind of an anomaly. That's a big deal. Now, here we go. In Steven Spielberg's massive blockbuster, paleontologists Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and mathematician Ian Malcolm are among a select group chosen to tour an island theme park populated by dinosaurs created by prehistoric DNA. While the park's mastermind, billionaire John Hammond, assures everyone that the facility is safe, they find out otherwise when various ferocious predators break free and go on the hunt. Now, I gotta tell you something right here. I don't know why this is. I really don't know why this is. And this is what separates me from a lot of people. Here's the thing. So I think I saw this movie for the first time when I was 7 or 8 years old. I was 7 or 8 when I first saw this movie. It was playing on TV a long time ago. It must have been TBS or TNT or wherever it was playing at. And I'm going to tell you the scene that was stuck in my head. Out of all the scenes in the scene in the movie when they were climbing up the wire and the boy got electrocuted on the wire when Laura Dern's character had flipped the switch from the station. That was scary to me as a kid. And I don't know why that is. Of all the scenes, that right there. Not the scenes where the T-Rex and the animals, they were going around and eating people. Now, I will say some of the other scenes didn't necessarily help at the time. Now, the second scariest scene I remember as a kid was when Wayne Knight's character, Dennis, I forget what's Dennis's name again. Dennis Nedry, that's what it was. And he was in his Jeep in the forest, and the thing that spits the acid out of its mouth, you can hear him screaming in the car, and the thing obviously killed him. It wasn't explicitly shown, but heavily implied. We know what happened. That was another one. But, again, I had rewatched this movie again last week, and I was like, this movie still has great thrills to it. And it's just looking at that scene where they were in the Jeep, just speeding through the forest at like 70, 80 miles an hour, whatever. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is chasing after them. I mean, this is still like it's a thrilling movie to this day. It still has that impact. And I mean, again, it's just one of those movies that it's a classic, it's legendary, it has a great legacy to it. Great cast members. You have Laura Dern as Ellie Sattler, Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, you have Sam Neill as Alan Grant, Ariana Richards playing Lex, Joseph Mazzello playing Tim, B.D. Wong was Dr. Henry Wu, and Richard Attenborough was John Hammond. And of course, Wayne Knight was Dennis Nedry. And then you have a whole bunch of other people up in here who are in the movie but weren't really shown much. So, like I said, this movie gets a 10. And I'm on a Jurassic marathon right now. So, as I said, all of the movies are available to watch on Peacock. Now, here's another thing I want to get to, and I'm glad this popped up because I almost exited this video without bringing this up. So, Common Sense Media asked a good question. They said, What makes this movie scary? Is this considered a horror film? What is the difference between horror and suspense? Break it all down, arguments on all sides. And I say, well, you know what? Now here's my answer, and then I'll give you the chat answer. So my answer is this a horror film? No. It's a adventure thriller film that has some horrific elements, as I had pointed out the things earlier. So, this movie, directed by Steven Spielberg, is often categorized as a science fiction thriller, but it definitely contains horror elements, especially for younger viewers or first time watchers. Let's break down what makes it scary, whether it's a horror film, and the distinction between horror and suspense, followed by arguments from multiple perspectives. Okay, so the first is this. What makes Jurassic Park scary? And by the way, this ain't just talking about the first movie, the whole franchise. The concept. Scientists bring extinct predators back to life using genetic engineering. The idea that nature, once tampered with, can spiral out of control. Life finds a way. The dinosaurs, especially the velociraptors and the T-Rex, are presented as terrifying predators. Their attacks are fast, brutal, and sometimes unexpected. Spielberg uses POV shots, jittery camera movement, and ominous sound design to build fear, tension, and isolation. A remote island with no way out. Power failure and storm cutting off communication. Characters are stranded and hunted. Sound and score. The death scenes, characters like the lawyer and the game warden are killed in graphic, suspenseful ways. It's not a bloodbath, but the fear of being hunted is constant. Is it a horror film? Or can it be regarded as a horror film? There is an argument that says yes, and there's an argument that says no. Now, here's the arguments on both sides. To the people who say yes, it's a horror film, they're saying because it features monsters, dinosaurs killing people, fear of the unknown, nature run amok. Classic horror themes, scenes designed to scare. You got velociraptors in the kitchen, T-Rex attack, clear horror set pieces, another Spielberg film that is widely considered horror. Now, here's the arguments that say no, it's not. It's more of a thriller slash sci-fi adventure. Lack of gore. Compared to traditional horror films, blood and violence are toned down. The tone, it has awe and wonder, dinosaur reveals, as well as terror. Horror tends to be more grim throughout. Character arcs and heroism. Horror often focuses on helplessness. In Jurassic Park, characters fight back and evolve. Science fiction core. The premise is rooted in genetics and technology, not supernatural horror. Now, horror versus suspense. What is the difference? Well, horror is designed to elicit fear, shock, and visceral reactions. Common things include death, monsters, the supernatural, the grotesque. Examples: The Exorcist, Halloween, my second favorite horror film, and The Thing. Suspense, designed to create tension and anticipation. You know something bad is coming, but not when or how. Often includes mystery, close calls, and escape scenarios. Examples include Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho. The key difference: horror wants you to scream, suspense wants you to squirm. Now, the arguments on all sides: it is horror or horror adjacent. Emotionally similar to horror, terrifying monster kills, tension driven direction, raptors in the kitchen. It's more suspense thriller. Horror is usually more relentless, dark, and hopeless. Jurassic Park has moments of levity, awe, and triumph. Spielberg deliberately cuts away from the gore. The T-Rex attack on the kids. Most deaths are off-screen or implied. It's a hybrid. Like Alien, Jurassic Park is a science fiction survival thriller with horror elements, horror adjacent elements. Spielberg mixes tones deliberately, awe plus fear. It doesn't fit neatly into a box, which is why it's so effective and iconic. So the final verdict is this: Jurassic Park is best described as a sci-fi action thriller, sci-fi adventure thriller with strong horror adjacent elements. While it may not be a traditional horror film, it uses horror techniques masterfully, especially suspense, isolation, and predator-prey dynamics and jump scares to terrify viewers. It sits comfortably next to Jaws, Alien, and A Quiet Place. Films that blur the line between genre labels but undeniably scare us. So, that's why I like Common Sense Media and ChatGPT, because they break all this stuff down. And so, that's pretty much all I have to say for this. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscription. Help me out. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Right now I'm at 425, I believe. So go to my About section and check the links to my other socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I also have Blue Sky, which I'm just created that a few weeks ago, trying to get that active. I have hardly any followers on that yet, but we're trying to change that and help me get to at least a couple hundred followers of that by the end of the year. So that's all I have to say about this, and I will get to the other movies. And as soon as I see Jurassic World Rebirth, I will do my review of that. And then I also have a whole bunch of other videos to do regarding a bunch of other genres, especially action film franchises, movies that I have to watch and or rewatch, catch up to. I mean, so I've watched all Fast and Furious, Taken, Mission Impossible, Terminator, John Wick, Transporter, Equalizer, Jason Bourne, and about 24 others. So if you have any suggestions for a film or a show that I should cover, put it in the comment section. Feel free to shoot it my way. I'll make note of it. I'll shelve it, and I will get to it when I can. So stay tuned.